Welcome to Real Estate Radio Live, an informative and engaging hour discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, Mike D'Ambrosio, provides you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate, and much, much more. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host, Mike D'Ambrosio.
Welcome in. Good afternoon. This is Mike D'Ambrosio with Real Estate Radio Live. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Talking anything and everything real estate, as we always do and always have been for these many years. And I'll get into why I just said that in just a second.
Wow.
But it's the D'Ambrosio Real Estate team is on today. Laura Pesavento is in studio with me.
Whoop.
There you go.
Here we go.
All right. And this is our last live show. So it's very sad.
You had to start off like that, Mike.
Yeah, I did have to start off like that. But, you know, we're excited. We've had a really fun run with KDOW and the Wall Street Business Network, and we appreciate everything they've done. But we are not finished with Real Estate Radio Live. We're going to be continuing on, and I will get into that in just a minute. But before I do that, so today, today is an open forum. If it's the last show, so if you got any questions, comments, you can call in or text in. But, just for those of you guys just tuning in, you can always listen to the show. And Joe's going to be on the next couple of days, too. But you can listen at KDOW 12:20 a.m. But in the future, we're going to be podcasting going forward. So you can download our podcast. That is the Real Estate Radio Live podcast. And we are currently in the planning process of that, right, Laura?
Yeah, don't be shy, though, about reaching out to us since it's not live anymore.
Yeah.
Text us, still email us so we can get you, in the hopper and get your questions answered.
Absolutely. So we're going to be starting the podcast. So, and I have something to tell people about today, too. If you go on and rate the podcast, give us a good rating, I'll send you a $10 Starbucks gift card. So if you can go in, rate the podcast.
Wow.
And then prove to me that you did it and send me your address, then you might get you will get a $10 Starbucks gift card. So
I'm going to go rate it right now.
There you go. You should. So, there you have it.
That's really generous.
So it is. I hope so.
Happy holidays.
And I need we need the rating. So we enjoy the podcast. We've enjoyed the live show, and we're gonna keep it going. So, but for today, if you have any questions, give us a buzz, 1-800-516-1220, 1-800-516-1220. And, like I said, today's open forum and all that good stuff. Okay. How's it going?
Good.
I'm
excited.
So we're gonna pretty much wrap up, the year. So just for a little bit of background, and a lot of people that listen to the show know that Joe, obviously, he's the head honcho around here. It's his radio program. He's been doing it for, I want to say, for 6 years or so. So the story behind it is that, people always ask me, because for most of you that don't know this, I actually sell real estate. It's my real job. I don't do radio full time. And
you do?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. But, I sell real estate. That's what I do on a daily basis. I do the radio thing for fun. And Joe as well for marketing and that type of branding, all that.
And inform your clients.
Yeah, and for education, and I really enjoy educating and training and that type of thing. So that's why we do the show. But how I got on the show was I met Joe, I don't know, through networking years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and we had coffee, we connected, and it was started from there. And then I was on the show maybe, I don't know, 10 or a dozen times over the following year after that. And we just really enjoyed working together. And then he offered me to do the hosting on Mondays. So I was like, sure, of course, I would love to do that. So I got my start there, hosting on Mondays. And then after that, I ended up doing both the Mondays and Fridays. So I was on Mondays from 3 to 4, Fridays from 2 to 3. That was a lot. It was a lot doing 2 shows. I don't know how Joe does 4 days a week.
I don't either. That is a lot to keep track of. Yeah. A lot of content. A lot
of work, but it's fun, So then this year we dialed it back. We were just doing Mondays from 3 to 4, and we've enjoyed doing that. So
you're getting pretty personal here today, Mikey. Are you setting the tone for?
I'm not setting the tone.
It's a very personal show today, I think, and we've kind of chosen it to be that way so you could get to know us a little bit better and what we're about and what we do in the Bay Area, because we're both very passionate about where we live and serving the community in the Bay Area.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're also passionate about educating the consumer, having good partnerships with people in different areas of real estate, in different fields of real estate, and which is, some of our sponsors like Starburst Construction and Taps Termite, who was on last week, and also Frankie Dry and Luigi's in Georgia. Mm-hmm. So we those are community staples and community pillars that we like to align ourselves with, and hopefully you've enjoyed the conversation that we've been having with them for the past years, because they've been coming on the show for years, and we've had some awesome guests also throughout the year.
Yeah,
and
we have.
Kind of go over those throughout the show.
And we're continuing on, and we're planning on having more.
Yeah.
We're taking them all into 2017, so it's going to be an even better year next year. We can feel it. So.
Absolutely. So let's talk about we've been talking about the market, and I want to talk about the market and getting professional advice and investment advice, and we actually have a lot to get to today, as usual, per usual. There's so little time, so much to get to, right? But let's talk about the change in the market, and we've been talking about it for months now. One of the perfect examples I like to give is in Willow Glen. We had those listings earlier this year. One of which, so just to show you kind of this is what is going on in most markets. Now, there's some markets that are still crazy hot, like up the peninsula where all the tech companies are and that type of thing. But in most markets, we've seen it's getting more normal. Again, I've been saying this for weeks, months now. It's getting more normal. There's in my opinion, and whether you disagree or agree with it, it's normalizing. We're not seeing a dip. It's not getting worse. The earth isn't falling, it's getting more normal, which is good. It's a good thing.
Yeah, so Mike, the conversation here, because, it's kind of interesting both ways. You say it's normalizing. However, there's pockets that are still, we call it gamesbound, right? Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That are still, on the market for, 10 days, as opposed to the more you say normalizing at 30 to 60 days, which, is still a really good.
In the grand scheme of the country, not 60, but we're talking more within a month or less than that. But the perfect example is in Willow Glen. We had a listing on the same exact street. One was and they're similar style houses. They're older houses, but we've just prepped them for sale, refinished the hardwood, painted, staged. Look really good, but they're older, more dated kitchens and that type of thing. So one of them we listed in January, which typically, the big bumps in the market as far as inventory is concerned is after Super Bowl, which is the first weekend of February typically, and after Tax Day, which is in April. But this year, the clients wanted to get it on as soon as possible in the beginning of the year because, frankly, that's a good time because there's not as much competition on the market as far as listings go. People aren't as, you have more serious buyers that are out during that time. And we've done shows on this actually about the holidays. We've actually done a whole show on why the holidays are a good time to sell. But so in this particular example, just that demonstrates the normalization of the market is. So we listed the same house in January, and it listed at $975, and we sold it within a week. We had multiple offers, and it sold for over $1 million. It sold for $1,007,000 or something like that. So it sold above list, multiple offers, sold like that, closed like that, closed quick. Fast forward to about 4 or 5 months later, April, May, we list another house in the same street, down the street, and similar style house, very similar upgrades, and same price range. We listed it at, client wanted to list it at $1,050,000, which went against my recommendation. I would have wanted to list it at $999 because you want to get that $1 million threshold, but we listed it above, and the house sat for 3 weeks. No offers. We still had good activity. And then we reduced the price under $999, and then it sold, and that was it. But so that gives you the difference. I mean, we sold on the first one in January within a week with multiple offers above list price. The second one, we priced it a little higher because the comps were getting higher, and then it sat. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of activity because we market properties good. We had a lot of activity, but it just sat, and then we, per our recommendation, we brought it down, and then it sold. So And also, within that time, in Willow Glen, when we first put that one on the market in January, there was like 20 houses for sale in the entire 95125 zip code. Come April, May, there was like between, I believe it was 70 or 90, it was somewhere in the 70 to 90 active houses for sale in Willow Glen, so 70 or 80. So that just shows you the difference, and that's a prime example of what's happening in the entire county right now. Beginning of the year, we were hovering around 700 active listings, and now we're around 1,700 active listings, which is going to produce this more normal market.
It's kind of fickle, It's almost like you're not quite, like the whole week-to-week thing, like how it's all different. I don't know. I just think that sometimes there's a big frenzy, and then people kind of go, oh, okay, well, let's pull back a little bit,
Yeah.
And now we're talking about the Berryessa area being the new Los Gatos.
Yeah, it's a hot area.
Because it's affordable. Well, it's more affordable.
It's more affordable, yeah. You're talking about a decent house for $700,000, $800,000. But then there's a lot of the outliers that we talk about at our sales meetings all the time. There's some houses that they sit out there for a month.
Yeah, that's the 60, around.
Yeah, and then they get multiple offers.
Yeah,
it's just weird.
all at once.
Yeah,
right?
It's just really weird. So there's weird things that are happening too. But for the most part, we're seeing a normalization, and this is Mike D'Ambrosio's words. This is what we're talking about. In my opinion, if anyone tells you differently, if we're seeing a dip or a bubble or whatever other word they want to throw around there, because everyone,
they have their own jargon.
Yeah, they have their own jargon, and since 2008, everyone thinks they're an expert. But so that's what I'm saying is, in my opinion, it's getting more normal. For the county, we have about, like I said, 1,700 active properties. For a truly normal market, we need to have about 2,500 plus or minus active listings.
So let me throw this out to you then, Mike. Are you trying to say that, hey, maybe buyers have a little bit of edge now?
I think they do have a little bit of edge, and they also, some of them have the attitude that they can kind of wait around, which is good. I think it's healthy to be able to have that attitude where they don't have to make this,
astronomical offer or whatever.
Yeah,
to
and this last-minute decision that they otherwise might not have made in a more normal market. So I think it's healthy that this is happening. Buyers are being a little bit more picky. That's why as a listing agent, you need to make sure your house is prepped, it looks good, it's priced right, you show it right, it's easy to show all that good stuff.
Yeah, but also tell buyers not to be flaky.
Well, that too. We could do multiple shows on that, but we got to take a quick break. If you guys got any questions, 1-800-516-1220, 1-800-516-1220. Laura Pesavento's in for the D'Ambrosio Real Estate Team. I'm Mike D'Ambrosio. Stick around. We got a lot more to get to on the other side of the break on Real Estate Radio Live.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for today's edition of Real Estate Radio Live, Mike D'Ambrosio.
Welcome back. This is Mike D'Ambrosio on Real Estate Radio Live, KDOW 1220 AM. And we're having a good time on our last live show. And Laura Pesavento's in studio today from the D'Ambrosio Real Estate Team. I'm Mike D'Ambrosio, and we're having a good time, as we always do, Laura, in studio. We're going to miss the live studio, but we're going to be moving on to podcasting. But if you have any questions, 1-800-516-1220 is the number. 1-800-516-1220 is the number. And like I said in this segment, before I get to that, this segment and the whole year has been brought to you by Georgia's Italian Food and Pizzeria and Frankie, Johnny, and Luigi's too. The best Italian food around with 4 convenient locations throughout the Bay Area to serve you. You can go to, what are the new websites, Laura?
www.georgiositalian.com.
Okay, and then the other one is FrankieJohnnyLuigi's.com. All right, there you go. And you can check out all the information on our wonderful sponsor over there on their website. So we appreciate that.
GeorgiosItalianFood.com.
All right, there you go.
So new.
I mean, where else can you get $4 martinis, Manhattans, and margaritas all the time?
No place.
There you go. I mean, if that's not a reason to listen to Real Estate Radio Live, I don't know what is. But
hashtag sausage bread.
Yeah, or sausage bread. There you go. Hashtag drinking. So, okay, let's get back into the show, and we talked a little bit about the market, and one of the things that we've been, I guess consistent might be the word, but we've really been consistent on throughout the years is, and this is kind of what the show is all about, and what we've always been about, and something that Joe Cachera is instilled in me, and really what the mission of Real Estate Radio Live is about is education, information, and knowledge. You don't often hear us on the show talking about, call me now to sell your house. That's not what the show is about. We're here to educate the consumer and give you guys the information and arm you with the information for you to go out and make informed decisions on your business and real estate needs. And that's kind of what we've always been about.
Yeah, Joe's been a true pioneer in the Bay Area here in extending this to our team and to others, and to help educate the Bay Area on the best way to man yourself. We always say get your artillery ready, right?
Yeah.
When you're ready to make a move, whether it be with funding, where how to dot your I's and cross your T's and get ready for that big purchase, or whatever you need to get ready to do.
I think a perfect example of this just happened recently. She's a listener of our show, and she's got a lot of moving parts with her parents. They own multiple investment properties. She wants to buy a house and build it her forever home, but there's a lot of tax implications with the properties they might sell and transfer into names and all this stuff. So she's very smart. First she reached out to me because she's a coworker of my wife. Reached out to me, and we talked, okay, what do you have going on? She's got a lot of different things going on. Then we put in place, okay, who are the professionals you need to go talk to? Because as a real estate agent, I'm not, my thing is real estate. I'm not giving you tax advice. I'm not going to give you 1031 exchange advice, although I have knowledge, I have general knowledge of it.
People surrounding.
I'm not going to talk to you about lending. I have general knowledge of it, but you have to talk, so we've set all the pieces in place. And she went out, and now she has a real game plan. You talk to the real estate professional. Then we talk to Joe. We talk to the lender, Joe, and okay, what can you afford? What can you qualify for? And then we talk to the CPA, the tax guy, to see what the tax implications are. And then who else did she talk to? I forget. The 1031 exchange guy. So there was all sorts of things she had to do. I mean, it was work.
It's daunting. It's also daunting and scary.
It is. And it was work. But if you're willing, I guess the moral of the story is.
Are you making a long story long?
Yeah, like usual. But there's a reason for that, and this is why people listen to the show is, don't be afraid to go out and get the advice.
That is it.
Because we hear it all the time. I wouldn't qualify anyways, or I'm even afraid to talk to the lender or talk to my CPA or whatever. But don't be afraid to do that, because if you didn't, what do you have to lose?
Yeah,
what do you have to lose? There's nothing to lose other than finding out it really is a no, or there might be a possibility.
And the worst case scenario is you can't do it right now, but at least you'll get that game plan so that you know what you need in order to get yourself ready.
Exactly. I think that's the big takeaway from this is maybe it's not going to happen now, but at least you can get the information and arm yourself with the information to set a game plan going forward. But we have to take a quick break. You got any questions for myself? 1-800-516-1220. You're listening to Real Estate Radio Live on the Wall Street Business Network, KDOW. Stick around. We'll be right back on the other side of the break.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for today's edition of Real Estate Radio Live, Mike D'Ambrosio.
Welcome back. This is Mike D'Ambrosio on Real Estate Radio Live, KDOW 1220 AM. The Wall Street Business Network, and it's the D'Ambrosio Real Estate team. Laura Pezaventos here. I'm Mike D'Ambrosio. If you got any questions, give us a buzz, 1-800-516-1220, and you can check in online at Mike at RERadiolive.com. And going forward, too, so, going forward, we are going to be podcasting. Like we mentioned earlier on in the show, this is our last live show. It's our last live one, but we're going to be continuing on. Before I get to that, real quick, this segment is brought to you by one of our wonderful sponsors that's been sponsoring us for over a year now, Starburst Construction.
Love them.
And they've been serving the Silicon Valley for a lot longer than a year, over 40 years, and they are dedicated to building award-winning homes that last a lifetime. You can visit them today at starburstconstruction.com. That's Starburst, like the candy, construction.com. And I'm sure we're going to be continuing with our partnerships with Starburst and Taps and the restaurants going forward into our podcasting and all that good stuff. Again, just a reminder, we are going to start podcasting all of our shows. We're still working out the schedule and how it's going to look. But if you do go on to iTunes, you can download our podcast or you can subscribe. It's Real Estate Radio Live. And if you go in there and rate the podcast, which is we need to start getting more ratings. If you go in there and rate and then you reach out to me and prove it to me, I'll send you a $10 Starbucks gift card. So
nice. There
you go. And if you can get more people to go and rate it, maybe you'll get more Starbucks gift cards. So we'll see about that. But I wanted to finish up on this is our quick segment, and I pretty much almost burned through it with all that. But I wanted to talk a little bit about and continue on with this whole talking to real estate professionals, and not just real estate professionals, talking to professionals and getting your team together and doing the due diligence and arming yourself with the knowledge that you need to make informed decisions, especially when those decisions have to do with most people's most important asset of their lifetime, which is their home or a rental property or a shopping center, whatever it may be. You really need to arm yourself with that good information and the people behind you, trusted professionals, in order to help you make those decisions. So, for example, and usually, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a real estate professional myself, but usually the real estate professional is the ringleader of all that, right?
Why are you the ringleader?
Because most of the time, if you have a good real estate professional, we're the ones that is putting together the team of people to help facilitate all that stuff. And also, why we're the ringleaders, most people want to call the real estate person first to find out how much they can sell the property for. That's like on the top of their mind. Or if they want to go out and buy a property, we're usually the first people they call before they can even figure out what they qualify for. It's just a natural way of doing things. There's nothing wrong with that.
That makes sense.
But it makes sense, And so for us, we've put together a whole team, and there's plenty of real estate professionals that do it, but we put together a whole team of people. For example, the person sitting right next to me in studio today, Laura Pesavento, VP of Business Development, Marketing, Branding. She's the one helping, do all of the things that makes the wheels turn on the team and makes sure our properties are getting properly, marketed and branded and getting out there to the public, and also helping facilitate new relationships with everyone else. So, and there's a whole mess of other things that she does that I don't want to get into right now because it'll take up the rest of the show, but that's her. We have transaction coordinators, Tammy and Kristen, that help us with paperwork, making sure we are in full alignment with, all the legalities of the paperwork and the contracts and all that good stuff. Then we got Joe Cachero with financing, and I'll get into Joe in a second. This, like I said, this is our quick break, our quick segment. I do want to talk about financing and the rest of the team and why that's important to you guys on the other side of the break. So we got to take a quick one. If you got any questions, 1-800-516-1220, 1-800-516-1220. It's the D'Ambrosio Real Estate team here on Real Estate Radio Live, KDOW, the Wall Street Business Network. Thanks for tuning in today, everyone. We got a lot more to get to on the other side of the break. We'll be right back.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for today's edition of Real Estate Radio Live, Mike D'Ambrosio.
Welcome back. This is Mike D'Ambrosio on Real Estate Radio Live, KDOW 1220 AM, the Wall Street Business Network, and it's the D'Ambrosio Real Estate team in studio today on our last live show. And I I think I might get choked up near the end of the show today.
Sure,
How about you?
don't do that.
No, it's all good. We're going to be continuing on with the podcast, and we've really enjoyed our relationship with KDOW and the Wall Street Business Network, AM 1220, throughout the years. And but we are going to continue on in iTunes and have a good time on that. Before I get to the rest of what we're talking about, this segment is brought to you by Taps Termite. They've been serving the Bay Area for over 45 years. Taps Termite is committed to keeping your living area pest-free by using the newest and safest technology. You can call Taps today at 408-259-5900. That's 408-259-5900. And we just had Taps on last week during Halloween. And always a good – we've done that, I think, the last 2 years where we had Taps on Halloween. It's always good to talk about critters and creatures and termites on Halloween. So Tim Denner's always a good time and a good guy. So I wanted to finish up my thought, and then we'll move on to something else. But I really wanted to finish up my thought on the whole team, getting the team of not real estate professionals, but all sorts of professionals around to make your decisions and make quality decisions. And so we were talking about Joe and the financing, and you guys listen to Joe the other 4 days of the week. I don't have to tell you how great he is because you probably already know. But he is great, and that's a major piece of any real estate decision you make is the financing, because without that, what the heck are you going to do? And then we have Sharon McMahon with Orange Coast Title. Escrow and title needs, obviously a very important part of what we do in real estate. Ron Ricard, 1031 exchange guy for all of our investors out there. We have Art Pratt, our home warranty guy, who provides our new homeowners home warranties. And we have Karen Dayton with the Staging Pros. She does our staging. Matt Nanello with our photography, videography, and marketing. And then, like I mentioned before, Tim with Taps Termite, and Gregorio with Assurance Home Inspections, and Jeff Sundquist with Farmers Insurance. Linda McKay is our attorney. So, I mean,
we are ready to go.
We're ready to rock
people.
and roll. Just give us a call. Call us now. No, that's.
Why
but
not?
again, that's the reason why I tell you guys that is because we want to be that one-stop shop, and that's the way it should be. You shouldn't have to call a million people. You should have a person you can rely on, whether it's me or your trusted real estate advisor, to facilitate all of those relationships and really help you come out with a solid plan. And I know I beat a dead horse today, but it's just really important.
Yeah, but
it's
Mike,
really
let me throw something out here really quick, because I think it's important. It's kind of like human nature. I mean, you and I know this because we talk about this, but I'm just going to, let me give you an example. You don't know how much you need your running water until your faucet breaks. Okay, people don't understand the significance of a team like ours until they don't have something, and they've got to act quick. Mm-hmm. And you're not quite sure, what to do. And so in a relationship with you is just that important, so that you're the one that does all the work. They don't have to do all the work, right? You're like the puppeteer, so you just kind of say, okay, look, we've got it all ready to go. This is your first step. This is your second step. So, this is more important than people know until it's time to really know. You don't know what you don't know, right? So this relationship is uber important for people who own a home, even if you're not ready to sell right now. Just still utilize Mike as a source of information.
Absolutely. And I forgot to mention contractors, plumbers, locksmen. I mean, all that is a part of the whole and I like the water scenario because it really, if emergency happens or with real estate, what is that emergency? We have, you can be going through a divorce. someone might pass away. All sorts of these things are a part of the reality.
Yeah. Perfect example. The other night, you met a lady that came over to your harvest party, and she needed a handyman. She needed a threshold put in. Who does she go to? Our team.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the way it should be, and that's what we love doing. We love helping people and problem solving. Really is kind of what we do, is problem solving. You mentioned on the break when we were off air, we mentioned timing of everything, and I really wanted to touch on that because this kind of goes with what we were just talking about. Personally, I don't like the whole fire sale thing. I don't like people to make rash decisions when they're not ready to make a decision. Anytime you're making a decision in a pressure situation, there's more room for error in that case. So what am I getting at? What I'm getting at is if you think you're going to be making a real estate transaction, or you're going to be, I don't know, adding under your house or doing something real estate related in the coming year, 2 years, even 5 or 10 years, because sometimes in the 5 or 10 year realm, we might be talking about tax implications. We talked about this with Scott the other week when he was on the show. Is that you might have an investment property that you might need to move into for 2 years in order to avoid paying, if you're going to 1030 or get the $500,000 exclusion, or move out of a property and make it a rental and then use it for a 1031 exchange. Again, I'm throwing things out there really quick, but the reason I am saying that is because some of these decisions will take years to accomplish. So therefore, if you're thinking about doing something like that, you need to start planning it today. Does that make sense?
Yep. Total sense.
So, again,
but
it
some
doesn't.
People just don't think about that.
It doesn't.
We need to remind
and
them.
It doesn't. Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't have to be. You might be planning on retiring 5 years from now or 10 years from now, and moving out of the area.
Which a lot of people are thinking about doing.
Frankly, I mean.
Yeah.
I love the Silicon Valley, but a lot of people are getting sick of it. So if that's your scenario, there's certain things you can put into place in order to make that move smooth, and maybe save some major tax dollars by doing that. And we can talk to you about how you can do that.
And also being in the industry, Mike and Joe know a lot of little tidbits and, things that you should, that you can know, things to help you with tax benefits, or, things that you might not know when you turn 55.
Yep.
You can take some benefits with you and that type
Absolutely.
of thing.
All sorts of things we can get into, but we got to take a quick break. We're going to wrap up our final live show on the other side. I can't believe I'm saying that. If you got any questions or comments, now is not the time to get in, because we're going to wrap up the show. So email me, Mike at RERadiolive.com, and we're going to give out all of our information on the last segment. But we got to take a quick break. I'm Mike D'Ambrosio. This is Real Estate Radio Live. We'll be right back.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for today's edition of Real Estate Radio Live, Mike D'Ambrosio.
Welcome back. This is Mike D'Ambrosio on Real Estate Radio Live, our last live segment on live radio. And,
man!
Oh, that's such a fake cry.
It's not a cry, but it's sincere.
Am I watching myself on Facebook Live right now?
Yes, you are.
Anyways, this is our last live segment, or at least for myself. I believe Joe's going to be on another day or so, but this is the last live show. Again, I'm Mike D'Ambrosio. Laura Pesavento's here from the D'Ambrosio Real Estate team. And, today we really just wanted to get out there. We wanted to talk about, we always talk about the market when we're on together, and we don't have a guest. And so we want to talk about the market. We wanted to talk about why it's important to get together your team of professionals and get the solid advice that you need to make most people's biggest financial decisions of their lifetime. We want to talk about timing, and working with good people that do good business, honest people, people that work by referral and repeat business. I think that's a really important thing, and not just people that are lead burners and lead generators, people that want to have a lasting and solid relationship with you for a lifetime. Because if they're going to do that, if they're going to want to work for that type of relationship with you, they're going to do the best job that they can do. And I think that's really important when it comes to selling the biggest asset that you have.
That's the only way we can do business. That is what we're built on. We're very committed to our community, and you'll see it just by our actions out there, doing things with the community and giving back to schools, giving back to nonprofits.
Yep.
We really do care.
Exactly. And speaking of that, so we'll have to plug, obviously the website and checking out everything on the website. Speaking of giving back, again, we raised how much this year?
Super proud
We raised
of this.
almost $35,000 for the
Yes.
D'Ambrosio Golf Tournament this year. That went to 3 really deserving organizations, something we're really proud about.
And we'd love for all of you to join us. Please contact us.
Go check out the website, MikeDsells.com, and you can check out all the information there.
Under the golf tournament.
You know, giving back to the community is really important for us, too. It's not just with the golf tournament. We work on multiple other events or with organizations to give back, because the community, this is where we live. This is where we play. This is where we hang out with our family. So giving back to the community is super important to us, right?
Yeah, we're all natives here, so we're super committed.
Absolutely. So with that being said, I've got to admit.
I know. What the heck? What was that optional over there?
So maybe I want 2 minutes when we do the podcast, but we got a minute. Laura, thank you for everything. I really appreciate your support, and we have a good time when we do the live show. We're going to continue doing that on the podcast. Real Estate Radio Live, go to iTunes and subscribe. If you have and you want to check out information on the D'Ambrosio Real Estate team, please go check out our website. It's a great website, super easily you can easily navigate on it, and all the information is on there. It's MikeDsells.com. That's MikeDsells.com, and you can find more information out about our golf tournament, social media links. We're Facebook.com/MikeDRealEstate. And
join us. Don't be afraid. Join the team.
Absolutely. Connect with us. If you have any questions, you can reach out via the website. If you have any other information on Real Estate Radio Live, RERadiolive.com. But again, keep in touch. We're going to be on the podcast. We're going to be enjoying the podcast. We've always enjoyed working with KDOW, the Wall Street Business Network, AM 1220. For me, it's been a really fun couple of years, or 3 or 4 years on the live show. And I really appreciate the opportunity to everyone that has allowed me to do that. So with that, I think that's it. You have been listening to Real Estate Radio Live. I'm Mike D'Ambrosio. Laura Pesaventos joined me today. It's the D'Ambrosio Real Estate team. It's Mike D'Ambrosio signing out on live radio for the last time. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
You've been listening to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Tune in, log in, download our podcast. Discover more at RERadiolive.com. RERadiolive.com.